your brain doesn't know the difference between life and business or anything else because you've created that, so you can uncreate it and do it the other way around as well.
Welcome to another episode of my podcast, Relentless Life on Your Terms. I'm joined with Karim Boktor. How are you, mate?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
Now, you're a high-performance coach through the
Yes.
use of hypnotherapy, correct?
That's right.
Tell us a bit about what you do and how you started.
So I use advanced hypnotherapy to help rewire people's subconscious in quick time. So, and the reason why I got into this is I originally was in surgical devices. So I was in surgery, in surgical rooms.
Yep.
With surgeons that were using our products, and I could see that they were stressed. And people who don't know, they just assume that, surgeons are on bucket loads of cash, they're earning millions of dollars a year. But on the flip side, what they don't see is they get treated like shit. So the nurses treat them like shit.
Really?
Yeah.
You said we would have known. No, I wouldn't have no idea.
No, yeah. So there's a
I know they get paid well, but what they do is very, very, it's amazing.
Yes.
They're highly skilled,
Yes.
but I've never, ever, that is news to me. Wow.
Yeah. So the nurses run the hospital. And in Australia, we've got like a tall poppy syndrome type of thing.
100%. Same in business, same in real estate.
Yes. And the nurses are
Wow.
looking at these guys like, it's not fair type of thing.
They're making so much money.
They're making so
We're
much
doing all the hard
money.
work.
We're doing all the
We're
hard
carrying them. We're doing, it's same, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
And so they treat them like absolute shit. And these guys are like, studying forever. They're giving up their life, giving up their time. And yes, they're making a bucket loads of money, but they don't even have time to enjoy it. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, this guy's like, this surgeon, he or she is operating on someone, saving their life. They're going through a lot of stress. You can see the burnout and you can see like the level of concentration that they need to perform in that moment.
Focus must be insane.
Insane.
Yep.
All while they're getting treated like shit. And that made me think, hang on, there's something here. Anyway, so I went through my own life and that position for me was highly stressful too. So I was in there for 4 years. And then I started my own business, not in the one that I've got at the moment. And I was going through my own stress. I had just finished my MBA too. And my business was spiraling out of control. I didn't understand why.
Business was that, correct?
It was a cafe restaurant. And my wife had just given birth to my son, to our firstborn. I had really bad anxiety at the time because I wasn't sleeping. And I had used sleep for such a long time as a coping mechanism. So when I wasn't getting this sleep, I wasn't able to make decisions. I wasn't able to lead my team.
You had brain fog.
Brain fog. People were talking to me.
And you weren't listening.
And no one was
home.
No one was home. And my business started to spiral out of control. And I'm thinking, what the hell's going on? I've got the best business coaches. I've got the best marketers. I've just finished my MBA. Why can't I do this? And my wife found me curled up into a ball one day because I was just so anxious, having a panic attack because I wasn't about to pay rent. I couldn't pay and afford my wages. And I'm thinking, I'm fucked. My parents came here with nothing. And here I am, like, putting it in their face because they sacrificed a lot for me to be here. Now I'm going backwards. So all this thing was coming up for me. I felt like a horrible provider, a horrible father, husband. And that was probably like one of the lowest points in my life.
How long ago was that?
6 or 7 years ago.
How long did you have the cafe for?
Probably had it for about 3-4 years.
Tough industry, hospitality. Crazy. And it's, look, I'm taken back by the first part where surgeons and that, it's such an interesting thing that no one would consider.
Yeah.
So even though they're brilliant
Yeah.
and they're good at what they do, their self-esteem from getting hammered all day must be low.
Yeah. And that's not taking into consideration maybe the self-esteem when they get home, to their partners. You don't make time for me. Where have you been? You said that you weren't going to do as many hours. So it's
So
just
they're
a build
copying
up.
it from everywhere.
Copying it from everyone.
Wow. So you're in there, you're selling devices, you're in hospitality.
Mhm.
Then what made you
And
slow
then
to
I'm
bid?
like, I can't give up. I'm the type that's relentless.
You're on the right podcast.
I'm on the right podcast, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I really vibed with you. Because I thought to myself, I'm not giving up.
And you had other personal stuff as well when you were growing up. You said,
I had personal stuff.
documented.
Yeah. So this isn't, and I thought that what was going on at the time was at the time problem. So I went through a lot of, I was sitting down in my jocks, feeling sorry for myself. And I'm like, universe, God, give me a sign. And I started watching a Tony Robbins show. I'm Not Your Guru. And I'm like, this guy's resonating with me. So then I looked up Tony Robbins, what did he study? So then so it came up with, he studied neuro-linguistic programming. NLP. So then I'm like, okay, let me go and study this as well. So then I went up and researched the best schools in Australia for NLP. And that was really the start of my personal development journey. Because when I started learning more about me, the funniest thing happened. My business started to increase. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? I've just spent 100 grand on my MBA. And this is the thing that's really helping.
But everything's always begins and ends with yourself, leadership.
Yes.
Everything begins and falls with leadership. You said that when we were on your podcast, and it's so true because when you look at any business, a good business, bad business, it all stems from top down. It cascades the information, the good, bad, ugly. Because your team will be a better, slightly worse version of you, slightly better. That's what they see, yeah?
Yeah.
So it's incredible. So that one area which you didn't think would have a domino effect really did.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, why is this affecting this area?
Yes.
Because it's all interlinked.
It's all linked. Your brain doesn't know the difference between life and business or anything else. And as I was going through this process, I thought it was a now problem. But this was the thing that really...
When you say now problem, what do you mean, Karim?
I thought it was just
it's a phase.
It's a phase, or like the problem that I'm going through now has to do with now. Like I thought that I've just got anxiety now because of the situation now.
So it's going to go away.
And I just thought, okay, well, it's going to go away.
You never thought it's deep.
I never thought it had layers.
Which means you got to go really deep like an onion.
Yes.
Understand. Makes sense.
Yeah. But then my coach said to me something really profound. What is the link between what you're feeling now, the anxiety, and the childhood? I'm thinking, what did you just say? And that for me was like a really profound moment.
That makes perfect sense now with your hypnotherapy, because I don't know where I read it. What you experience from 1 to 10, you will carry for the next 70 years of your life. So what you teach kids specifically, or the trauma that they face, will show up later in the forms of addiction, in the forms of fear. So forget which book it was that it said it's the first 1 or 2 years were the most formative.
Yes.
So when they look back at events,
yes,
and I was trying to piece things like we were discussing as well, they intrigued me and fascinated me so much. Things that you wouldn't think really show up later in different forms.
Yes.
Obesity, addiction, drugs, whatever that may be.
Yes.
So you started to put all these two things together.
And it was like, what the fuck did you just say? Because for the first time in my life, I felt like my brain has been shut off. Someone switched on the light and said, look. And how I could explain it was like, I could see the mess that I created in the aisles. And I could find in the aisles.
Oh, in your brain.
In the brain. I could see that I created so much mess and broken, and things are just chucked everywhere. Not because of anyone else, because of me. I was the common denominator, and I could see how I've sabotaged this for so long.
It takes a lot of self-reflection to say that, but I feel you're always the common denominator. It's always you.
Always.
Because you can't control outside events.
Yes.
You can only control how you respond to them.
Yes.
So people that take ownership of that can change that.
Yes.
But if people that are, I call it the victim or a champion mentality.
Yes.
The victim mentality, poor me, same script. The champion mentalities, how lucky I can show up and grow. And I guess you see that a lot in the work that you do with high performance people.
Yeah.
It's the mentality.
It's
You're
the
a victim
mentality.
or a champion.
Sometimes they're not even at the point of becoming a champion. They're at the victim and they can't perform. So I have to switch them over to the other equation. So there are two equations. You've got the effect side and at the cause side. People that are at the effect side are at the victim side. That my hands are tied. I've got nothing to do with this. That's why I can't do the thing that I need to do. It's the universe. It's whatever, it's the blaming. I try and switch them over to be at cause. But everything is my fault. Everything starts and finishes with me. And in that moment, I found that I was at the effect. I'd given up control by saying that everything was everyone else's fault.
You gave up power,
Yes.
which means you couldn't take action
Yes. My belief was like, it's not my fault.
for me.
For me.
But just to be fair to you and me and everyone else, that's what everyone feels until they understand that.
Yes.
Until you had that light bulb moment with your coach or your mentor.
Yes.
Until you started to read Anthony Robbins and NLP, you started to, I guess, be curious or want to know more, then your brain opened up to understand it.
Yes. That's exactly right.
Interesting.
Yes. And that brought me back to, I didn't even know that I had trauma. Like you, my parents are beautiful, right? They gave me everything. But we came here with nothing. We came here with, Dad was a big businessman in Egypt. He was wholesaling petrol. But he was made to leave Egypt because of our faith. And he had to come here. And the person that was meant to send him all the money didn't. And so he found himself with his wife and kids without money, without a language. And so we grew up in housing commissions.
That's insane. What our parents would have went through.
Yeah. And so even though they tried to protect us from all this, I could still feel the scarcity. I was constantly in trouble. I had a big stutter. I was overweight. I didn't have friends.
I heard you mentioned all that. So how did you start to overcome those things? Because they're pretty big things for anyone to go through.
Yeah.
So although you had a good life, in your head, these are, in anyone's head, they're big challenges to overcome.
Yeah. Yeah. And those are the beliefs that I had to overcome to help me be in that success mindset.
And I've heard you talk about when you stop stuttering.
Yes.
Can you share that?
So, I'm not sure if you guys know this about stutterers, right? I was a big stutterer. But if you gave me a song to sing or a movie scene to act out, I
Reenact.
could do it without stuttering.
I didn't know that until I heard you say that, and I was floored. I go,
Yes.
that is incredible.
Yes.
How is that possible?
Yes. Because your subconscious switches from a different perspective.
How?
It goes from you to not you.
So you're playing a role?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
So you're playing a role which you can do, and you've
Yes.
lost those limiting beliefs or those fears.
Yes.
That is incredible.
Yes. So to not stutter, I had to put on a mask.
Which was the role. That's crazy. But it makes so much sense.
Yeah. But regardless of whether you are a stutterer or not, it doesn't matter.
So you know that now.
Yeah.
And then you stop stuttering. How did that happen?
I had to understand what about me that I
Was trying to put the mask over.
Yeah, that actually made me stutter. So then I started to dig. What about is it? I had very low.
Was it the weight?
But the weight was a symptom. It was everything else that sat below. Why was I eating so much? It was my low self-confidence. It was my anxiety. It was the fear. But then made me eat because I was numbing the pain.
So it was a cascade effect.
Yeah.
So one thing just snowballed into the other.
Yeah.
The weight, the stuttering, the confidence.
Yes. It was a symptom of everything that was happening at a deeper level.
So once you understood the root cause, you were diagnosing the disease, not the symptom.
Yes.
Because you went deeper.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. And
so for people listening, sometimes the things aren't what they appear to be. They're a lot deeper.
They're deeper.
Which means when you get to the cause, to the actual reason,
yes,
you can fix the symptoms.
Yes.
If you're not going to fix the symptoms, they're just going to reappear.
Yes.
Because you're not diagnosing the root cause.
That's exactly right. And the root cause lives in the subconscious.
which means you need to go back there to uncover it,
you need to get deeper within your subconscious.
which is why you use hypnotherapy and which is why you pick that fit.
Yes. So I say hypnotherapy, but I include 4 or 5 other different modalities that I've created
Can you
myself.
share them?
So I went on like a studying spree. I'm like, what the hell did you just say to me? Why isn't this taught in school? So after I did NLP, I became a master trainer in that so I could certify others as well. And I'm like, okay, I want to do more. So then I did hypnotherapy, become a master trainer in that. And then I did timeline therapy. And then I did the Dr. DeMartini experience. And then I'm like, okay, so I've got all these tools. Who am I? Because usually someone does one tool, right? They'll do like a tool like NLP and they'll be the NLP person, like what Tony Robbins is. And I had all these tools under my belt. Who am I? What do I use? And they were all good within themselves, but they had but they weren't great. So what I did is I got all the best pieces that they had and I created my own method called the Boktor method. And I integrated it within that. And yeah, so once I'm in the subconscious, I'm able to rewire the subconscious.
It's like Bruce Lee did with Kung Fu.
Yes.
Got all the best methods, you combined it into one.
Yes. He made it his own.
So you did similar.
Yes.
And you only did that through studying, through curiosity.
Studying, trial and error, really being curious about how I could get results because I'm really highly results focused.
So then you went through that journey and you started your current business how long ago?
Yeah, about 5 years ago.
Now your clients, CEOs, athletes, tell me a bit about what's your typical client, or is it a wide range?
Originally, it was business owners. And then it got into executives. They're wanting to perform better because they've done all the books. They've done all that, right? They're really high performing. And for that reason, they really love personal development, but they've done everything. But they don't really understand some of their blind spots, which is in the subconscious. It's sort of like this, Chris. You know, sometimes when you drive to work, you can get to work, drive there, and you don't remember driving. So if you were weaving in and out of traffic, who was driving? If you weren't driving you, then who was?
I read a book where it basically talks about they had an argument that a person could be in a subconscious and can do the same things over and over without even realizing.
Yes.
So you can go in your subconscious mind.
Yes.
And you could do exactly that, drive to work or just reach to get something, a smoke, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
And you can have a legal argument that people can do on a subconscious level that it wasn't them acting.
Yes.
Isn't that insane?
Yes.
Which is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So when I read this, I thought this argument can be made for pretty much anything then.
Yeah.
If you can show that this person
So people go on throughout their whole life, a year, and they ask themselves, why aren't I where I need to be? Because they get throughout the whole year, driving throughout the whole year, going through business, doing the same old shit. And then they ask, why can't I be that successful person?
It's like that movie Click with Adam Sandler, who's on just autopilot. Fast forward, it's funny.
Yes.
Which means, so when you look at the things you talk about tapping into the subconscious, sometimes you might have an experience that's in your subconscious when you're younger, which is why you got to go back to that kid, the fear, the whatever, what you're doing with me with guilt or negative, whatever the case may be, or you go back to that experience to try to unpack it, to understand it, to release it.
Yes. Because this is the first time that you created it.
Explain that bit to me.
So people have subconscious strategies. They know how to do something. They know how to do anger. They know how to do fear. They know how to do whatever the emotion or the behavior is. In that moment when you're a little kid, you created that for the first time because you thought there was more benefit creating it than there was not benefit. Then there wasn't a benefit.
Yep.
So, that becomes your lens that you look through in life. This becomes your new reality. So for me, my reality wasn't at the cafe. There wasn't the problem at the cafe. My problem was because of this boy who has been so scared and thought that he wasn't good enough.
Which you brought it into the cafe.
Which I brought it into the cafe. Not only my cafe.
Your life.
My life. My relationships with my wife, my relationships with my son, whatever it was. I was taking all of those unwarranted realities and I was bringing them into now.
Because you transfer them.
Yeah.
because your energy you're going to transfer.
How you do one thing, you do it all.
I love that saying.
Yes.
How you do something is how you do everything.
How you do one thing, you do everything.
I actually said that. Me and my brother walking around the block today, and I actually use that exact analogy.
Yes.
Because remember, you always say, "What? How you do something is how you do everything." I go, yeah, that's it. You can see how someone performs.
Yes.
You know that old saying, if someone sweeps the street, you want to say who swept that street. He does it with pride.
Yes.
That cascades across every area of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You do something, you do it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
They're good little signs. They leave good signs about how someone acts in
Yes.
certain situations. So going back to that, you did all this studying.
Mm-hmm.
Your clients were CEOs and
Yes. Executives.
so now they're mainly C-suite people.
Yes.
And you teach them how to unpack things that happened in the past to perform higher.
Sometimes they're not even there at the start. They're like, Karim, I want to perform better. Where are my blind spots? I don't understand. Because I've done all the reading, I've done all that, and they don't even they may know, but they can't practice it. Why? Is because the part between your conscious and your subconscious, there's this brick wall. So you may know something really well. You can, rattle it off and you'll understand it, but you're not practicing it. Why? It's because there is this limiting
Belief.
belief that sits in your subconscious that you're not addressing because you're not there in the moment, because you can't get there.
See, it's funny because they're coming to address this issue here,
Yes.
but you know this issue's here,
Yes.
which is way underneath that.
Yes.
So you're taking on a journey to come back here.
Yes.
They think, why the hell am I even here?
Yeah.
Because here lies the answer.
Yes.
Which we can understand this.
Yes.
Which is in your subconscious.
Yes.
It's incredible. It's fascinating.
So as an example, you have a business owner that couldn't scale. Why couldn't he scale? He's hired the best business coaches. He's got all the strategy down pat. Why? Because for him, we understood is that control was very important to him. Control was very important to him because at such a young age, his dad left him. His dad left him at a young age, and he knew in that moment that he needed to work things out on his own.
He was left to his own devices.
And he couldn't
It's
trust.
how he felt safe, was
Yes.
protecting. It was his fight or flight response to the unknown.
Yes.
Which means he couldn't let go.
Yes.
To allow other people to grow.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm. That's just one example. But yeah.
How long did that take to get that breakthrough?
Within an hour. I sort of can see it now because people think that they're all different, but we're all really the same. So once someone tells me one thing, I'm like, okay, well, this is possibly where it is, but it's not for me to show them the answer. It's for me to guide them so they can see what the answer is for themselves.
To help them discover it.
So they can discover it for themselves because there's going
to
to
be
be
a lot more powerful though.
Yes.
It's like when I deal with a client, if you say something to a client, it's different if the client tells you.
Yes.
They own it. They'll act upon it.
Yes.
So you get the same thing. It's like any good therapist. They ask you questions, they get you to discover where you need to go.
Yes.
Because that's where you're going to have the real breakthrough.
Yeah.
If I just give you the answer and you don't figure it out yourself, it's not going to have the same impact, is it?
That's right.
Therapy is an amazing thing when you think about it.
Yeah.
When you think about high performance, think of NLP. It's absolutely fascinating what you're trying to do to rewire your brain, because the plasticity of your brain, you can rewire it.
Yeah.
Which is, it's actually incredible. As it's wired one way, it can be wired another way.
Yeah.
If you understand it.
Yeah. Because you've created that. So you can uncreate it and do it the other way around as well.
It's incredible. So can I ask you,
sure,
Karim, because I can talk about this stuff all day like you.
Yeah.
For the people out there that are having a mental block or they're really challenging, give me one or two quick hacks, tips or tricks so they can get back on their feet, or what would you say to them?
So there are possibly 3 steps you can do. Ask yourself, what am I feeling in this moment? And this goes back to feeling, right? And people switch off, especially guys. They don't want to feel anymore, especially high performing people. They've switched off feeling altogether. So maybe it's fear, right? Maybe it's burnout, so it's fear. And then step 2, what does this moment remind you of growing up? And then it takes them back to a moment, because it's a trigger. It takes them back to a moment where they are familiar of, and that's why this thing keeps coming up for them. And then in that moment, if you're seeing yourself as a little kid or whatever it is, speak to that little boy, speak to that little girl. What would you like instead? Would you like to feel safe? Would you like to feel heard, seen?
To break that pattern.
To break that pattern. And then also see, what if you didn't do this behavior? What would life look like for you?
Habit Loop is a great book, and it talks about the reward, the cue,
Yes.
and how to create that and break that routine.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of great literature on that. And once you understand that, you can just replace one, which is fascinating. Anyway, Karim, it's a pleasure talking to you, as is custom on our podcast. You ready for your quick fire questions?
Go for it, man.
Okay. What is one skill that you think everybody should have?
Curiosity.
It's a superpower.
Yes.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
People not taking responsibility.
If you had to choose another career, what would it be? Hospitality? Sorry.
Chef.
Are you serious?
Chef.
Oh, beautiful. Can you cook? Can you cook?
I love cooking.
Oh, man. What's the most important lesson that you've learned from one of your mentors?
That my beliefs don't define me.
What's the best compliment you ever received?
From my wife and my son, that I inspire them.
It's beautiful. How do you handle stress?
I feel it through.
You what?
I feel it through.
Which means just live it. Accept it.
Feel. I mean, stress is an emotion. So if it's an emotion, then you just process the emotion.
You just acknowledge it.
Acknowledge it, let it
pass.
process, and let it pass. If you need to scream and yell, if you need to cry, if you need to, whatever it is, feel it through to let it pass.
And I think if you acknowledge it, it dissipates, and you
Yes.
just don't fight against it.
Yes.
What's the first thing you think of when you wake up?
How can I best serve my clients today?
What's your biggest source of inspiration?
Growing old with my kids.
It's beautiful. What's your favorite hobby that's got nothing to do with your work?
I love extreme sports.
If you could change one thing about your industry, what would it be?
The ability to give coaches their license. It's so easy.
What's one thing you want to achieve this year?
I want to do a live performance, like a Tony Robbins thing.
What's your favorite time management tip?
Time management is understanding procrastination. Is that procrastination is sometimes you rebelling against an authority.
And the best way to overcome it's action.
It's action, yes.
What's the best way to get out of your creative rut? So you're having a bit of a rut. How do you snap out of it?
Change the scenery. Go do something that you love.
I love that. Change your subconscious.
Change your subconscious.
How do you stay calm in a high pressure situation?
By keep telling myself that I'm safe.
Me too. What's your dream vacation?
Italy in the like the wineries.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much have you enjoyed being on our podcast?
11.
Karim, it's been a pleasure, mate. I love talking
you.
with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you like our content, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.